This week in gaming, everything is going digital and there will be no problems at all. Trust us, we have the money, so we're right. God of War Laufey gets a date and much, much more. This is the Nerd Cave News, and I am one of your illustrious hosts, Zach Dykes, joined by my good friend and co-host, Derek Daniel. Derek, how's it going, my man?
It's pretty good, man. You know, we got some good news at the end of last week. You know, rather the weekend, honestly, because Comic-Con was last weekend. We got a lot of comic book news, but we did get some video game news sprinkled in as well. And, you know, when I sent you both those articles that we'll get into at the end of the show, you know, toward the end of the show, I was like, I meant to text you. I'm like, you already know what to make the thumbnail, but I didn't send it because I'm like, he already knows the assignment, and he did.
Oh yeah,
so.
oh yeah. Our boy is coming back, y'all. I'm so excited about it. Let us know how you're doing down in the comments below. Make sure to smack that like button, just like the awesome people are doing right now. You know you want to. You know you want to. A little bit of housekeeping for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, we've got awesome streams. We're playing some video games. I've been playing some stuff, finished up a game, started a new one this past week. You'll come and join us 7 p.m. Central Time on Tuesdays. It's going to be a great time. You don't want to miss that. We've got a lot of cool content that is coming out. We did a review of the first 2 episodes of Jadagar, Witch of Mongolia. Great show. Y'all need to go check that out. Y'all don't want to miss that. Also, y'all should go check out my beautiful and lovely wife's channel, Amy Irby Books. She put out a new video this week. If you like this book, then you should check out that book. A lot of great suggestions in there. You don't want to miss it. Amy says, hello, hello. Speak of her and she shall appear. Derek. Amy says, what's up, boys? Do you think I did that right? You want to try it? You want to try it? Give one read for this. I want you to read for it. Okay, go.
What's up, boys?
That's good. That's good. I'd give you the job. So. We're hiring Derek, y'all. Joe says, what's up? What's up? I don't know if I told you yet, but I got a new job. Awesome. Congrats. Starts on Monday. Same thing I did before the warehouse, but not contract. I'm excited. Well, awesome, Joe. Thank the good Lord for that. That is great, man. Very, very excited. Michael says, what's up, guys?
What
you want to try that one, Derek?
What's up, guys?
Dang, just crushing it. Just crushing it. Amy even said Derek was closer. Yeah. Well, I'm saying it here, y'all. If y'all want to hire Derek for some VO work, just email us. We'll work out a deal, and then we'll kind of create a sweatshop kind of environment for Derek to crank out VOs.
And we'll own all the license, and Derek will never see a dime.
Derek will get he'll get do you like the peanut butter with just like the regular Ritz crackers, or are you a cheese cracker and peanut butter?
First of all, I have not had a cheese cracker with peanut butter, so that should be your answer.
Okay,
so I just do a regular Ritz cracker with a peanut butter.
So we'll give you those, and we'll actually give you some good water, some cucumber water,
but
something
only
like that.
like a small bathroom cup water.
Yeah, one of those, and not get disintegrates as you're grabbing it. Amy's like, well, that devolved quickly. Of course it does. That's how we work here at the Nerd Cave. Welcome everybody to the stream. We hope you're doing awesome. We're so excited that you are here watching our stream. Don't forget that you are a part of the stream. Your comments, your thoughts, all of that, it's here. We want you to be a part of it. So, Derek, without further ado, I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay. What you been playing?
So, I want to be on record that I attempted to do it yesterday. I attempted to try and play some games. Now, did I turn on, obviously, because I haven't turned on either console in a while, did they have updates? Of course they did. But in the middle of those updates, my internet service decides to go down for 3 hours. I forget when. It just went down. I just doom scrolled on TikTok because I'm I have it the status bar on there, and my PlayStation is updating, and it gets stuck at like 70 something percent. I'm like, pretty far there, and I'm like, okay, like I know I have the room, the storage, like what's the issue here? And then my modem, lights up blue when the internet's on, and all of a sudden it turned to red. I'm like, oh crap, you really, really? So by the time it came back, it was time for me to have dinner, and I put that in air quotes because my dinner, because of when my work schedule is like most people's like late lunch. So yeah, it was time for dinner and to wind down. So I'm just like, I'll try again another day.
Well, at least you tried. I'll give you
Yeah.
that, Derek. I'll give you that. Now, if all things went well, what were you going to play? I just have to ask this.
It was a coin toss because I was going to update my PlayStation, update my Xbox. It was either toss up between Dying Light or Forza Horizon 6. So, toss
Good
up
choices.
between one of those two. So,
Good choices.
because I had watched a couple weeks ago MF Ghosts. I'm in the winter 2026 anime watch, and I had watched that, and it was pretty intriguing. I'm not going to get into it. I'm trying not to spoil. I'm trying to save my thoughts for Eat Sleep Anime, but it was an interesting thought. I'm just like, seeing them race around the different, racetracks across Japan. I'm like, man, I need to get back into Forza again. So, just kind of wanted to scratch that itch for a minute. So,
no,
my internet said, go ahead.
Your internet said no. Have you ever watched Initial D?
No, and I know MF Ghost, it's not on Crunchyroll, so I have to find out where I can watch it. Because I know it's got like a lot of seasons, but MF Ghost is like the sequel to Initial D.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It takes place after the events of Initial D. And basically, like, the main protagonist of Initial D is like, he goes to, like, I don't know, like, how much across the world he's gone, but he goes to London and he trains the next, like, generation. And then one of his students comes back to Japan for reasons that you learn in the show. And like, you see, like, his own style mixed with his master's.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
So,
well, Derek, I played some video games. I played a good chunk over the weekend.
I'm about to say one from Tuesday. I'm interested in your thoughts.
I'll get to that. First, I played Death Stranding 2. I am about 80% there. I'm getting into the end game, the crazy stuff. And there was a scene in there, dude. It was just like ripping at your chest. It was just pulling the heartstrings. It was like, dang, Kojima-san.
I was gonna say it was a signature Kojima scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, it of course lasted like 30 minutes. It was great, dude. I was just like, I'm here for this. Loved every second of it. So this weekend, gonna play some more of it and all of that. But Tuesday jumped into Halo Campaign Evolved, and I only played the new missions, which is on there. You can choose either the campaign or the bonus missions.
Oh, I didn't know that you could choose. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's like when you go in there, it's like campaign, it's like story or bonus mission. So I jumped into that, and the game looks good. I will say that right off. Unreal Engine, I think, does Halo really well. There are some points where I'm like, okay, this corridor doesn't look as good as the last corridor. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, but there are definitely moments where they're like, okay, we're going to really put a lot of love into this and a lot of cool architecture that they brought in, because the mission is you find this like science space station that one of the prophets is on, and he's been doing all these crazy things. I don't want to give away a lot of things for people who haven't played it yet, but you get a lot of cool new weapons. We got the Needler rifle, and that thing is freaking dope. That thing is dope because the Needler is really powerful, but then you strap it to a sniper rifle, and 3 shots, boom, they did. You know what I mean? They did. So that was really cool. One thing I will say is the game does not feel as tight, the controls and everything, as Halo Infinite. And I'm looking at this because I played so much Halo Infinite, and I'm like, the gameplay isn't as satisfying as I want it to be. And the game has kind of reviewed like in the 80s on Metacritic and everything, but a
Yeah.
lot of people have not been super excited about it. It was kind of meh, you know? So I have not played the actual story. That's my next thing that I'm going to be doing. And that'll be kind of more of what I think of the game will be. But my first initial thoughts of it, I wouldn't buy it for $50. That's not something that
Yeah.
I would do. Thankfully, it's a $50 game. I'd get Game Pass and play it. I think the
Mhm.
real part of this that would be interesting is playing with somebody that really enjoys Halo, like doing a co-op run compared to
Yeah.
playing it by yourself. I think that's where the fun really lies, is really bringing back that kind of experience than
Gotcha.
just because, my God, how many times have I played through Halo 1's campaign? So many. So it's like you got to bring in that fun kind of part to it and all of that. But I like the look of everything. The new weapons are really cool in the bonus missions. I don't think that they show up in the regular campaign. They
Yeah.
did add like where you would like hijack like a banshee or a ghost and everything that we
Mm.
saw in Halo 2. So there are some definitely improvements of life, but there's definitely some rough edges as well for what we
Got you.
got in Halo campaign evolved. And I think overall it's solid, but I don't think it's as big of a jump from Halo 1 to Halo Remastered that we got.
Got you. Okay.
So yeah, that's where I'm standing right now. Maybe when I play through the campaign and everything, I'll be ecstatic. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I've played so far, pretty good. The story in the bonus missions, there was some characters I was like, shut
Yeah.
up, and like, just shut up. Like it was just like, my God. It just, I don't know, it felt like lazy writing, and Master Chief was really quippy. It felt like we had more,
Okay.
yeah, where he's usually stoic and all of that. He was
Yeah.
more like one-liners, and like you had Sergeant Johnson with you kind of like setting up these one-liners, and I'm like, it feels like I am in a fever dream that a Marvel writer got a hold of a Halo game.
Oh God. Specifically a Marvel multiverse saga
Yeah,
writer.
yeah. So that's where I'm like, and I know that the voice cast did come back in and re-record the lines for the regular game as well, which is cool, but I've heard that it's not as the feeling isn't the same. So
Yeah.
I'm holding off on like, don't play this, you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I
Yeah.
enjoyed the 3 hours that I did play of the
Mhm.
bonus missions. I think it is saying, hey, we can explore more of the universe, flesh out a lot of the story and everything. And I think that's something that we really need from Halo, but this is not a knock it out of the park thing, which it should have been, to be honest.
Mhm.
So those are my thoughts.
So, hey, and that's fine. Xbox is in a state of flux right now with a lot of things, so it's par for the course. Like, I don't want to say, like, I know they had a good vertical slice at Summer Game Fest, but that's all it is. That's also a caveat because it's a vertical slice.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs is the prime example of what a vertical slice can turn into on the negative side. But I'm hoping Gears of War E-Day can deliver. Like, even if it's like it hits the 80s again, but it's at least enjoyable from a gameplay perspective and gives you new insight to how the fall of the planet happened with the locust. That would be fine with me. Like, I don't need like to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. I don't need it to just like be over the top gritty. I just want it to be what it is at its core, Gears.
Yeah, and they had a multiplayer preview event. I watched IGN's. I was
Ah,
listening a little bit of Kind of Funnies earlier today, and some really positive things that was said about
okay.
that. So I am excited about that. I think because it is a story that we've heard over and over and played through multiple times, because you have the
Yeah.
original. How many times we play the original? Then you had the
Right.
remaster. Then you had the Master Chief collection that put them all together. And then you have, of course, this version. So the game came out in 2001. Derek, we've had the game for quite some time.
25 years. Yeah.
God, that's crazy to think about. But
I know.
at the same time, I am still excited about this. But before we get into the discussion, Derek, I did want to hit a few of our comments over here. Amy says, Death Stranding just creeps me out. The little marionette doll, nightmare fuel. Why are you hating on Doll Man like that? Why are you hating on him?
Side caveat. Now, will it be possible? Do we want this to happen? Probably not. Kojima gonna Kojima, though. But I don't know if you saw, I don't think I have it in the quick hits, but there was an article that circulated, I believe on IGN or PSU, one of the two. He wants to actually scan a ghost into OD. And I'm like, nobody asked for this. If you do it, cool, I guess, but good luck also. But at the same time, it's like, if anyone were to make it possible, it would be Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, like it would be cool, but it would be really creepy. I'm like, you're asking for a lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff.
A lot of heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. He also said, I think it was last week, that that he wants to die in a movie theater. Like he's like, I want to die watching a really good movie.
Right. I did see that too. It's
I'm like,
Kojima, you good, dog?
I'm like, okay, man, like, you know, power to you.
Right. I think that's his way of saying he wants to go out the way he wants to.
Exactly. Go out swinging. You know what you love, which he really does love cinema, which, hey,
right.
I'm all for that.
You can see it in the games.
Joe says, haven't played a lot different games recently, though me and the wifey watched Spider-Man Far From Home to get ready for the new one on Saturday. Let's go. Derek, are you going to watch in theaters? Or you waiting for streaming?
I'm just gonna wait for streaming. I have the only way with my work schedule, and like I'm the old man yelling at cloud at this point. You know what I mean? Like I'm tired of these flipping kids coming in there, and adults too. And I mean, I don't mean like children under the age of like 10. Obviously, they're gonna do what they need to. That's a given. I'm talking about these middle school and high school brats that just think it's like cool, you know, like, oh, the Rizzler, Gen Z, you know, like all this stupid stuff. And I'm just like, I'm just tired of hearing that, dealing with it. So I will go like on a matinee, like middle of the day on a Wednesday, old man time during school, because not over summer. So because these kids can still come during the day.
Derek, are you saying that you're going into your geezer era?
Yes, I will humbly accept that, at least for movie theater etiquette.
Yeah.
So I just wait till it comes to streaming. Like, I'll admit, I watched the Avengers Doomsday trailers, you know, like recently, especially from Comic-Con. They might get me back in. The only thing is because X-Men's going to be crossing over, like the Fox X-Men is going to be crossing over into this world because of the multiverse. Yeah. But also that I don't think they've actually confirmed it, but there's been hints that the next saga after the multiverse is going to be focused on mutants, which I grew up on the 90s X-Men TV show and like the 90s Spider-Man TV show. That's why I'm always intrigued more by Spider-Man because of his rogues gallery and whatnot, and always intrigued by X-Men because of all the vast array of powers and like the storylines of like diversity, you know, like the clash of diversity, that kind of thing. So that all holds a special place more in my heart. So I figure I'd have to probably catch up, because I mean I'm about halfway through of the multiverse saga from where the timeline is, you know what I mean, like from where I left off in the movies. So I stopped about 2024, you know, watching MCU stuff. So it's not that much to get back into if I wanted to, but also it's like I don't know, like I don't know, I could go on, but we got a show to get to. But yeah, I might be getting back into the MCU only to see how it sets up for the mutant saga.
Derek, you could just literally watch like a video on YouTube that explains it. That way you don't have to torture yourself, because Derek, I'm gonna make a pitch for you. Okay. You watch a 30-minute video about whatever the crap is going on in the MCU, and then you take all the hours that you saved from watching all the shows and all the really bad movies that came out, and you watch anime instead.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. I mean,
I'm just
that's
saying.
fair.
I'm just
Like,
saying.
I'm not saying I'm going to watch it. Like this might be a like beginning of 2027 thing if I wanted to feel that froggy, but we'll see.
Joe says Maguire. One I didn't know. I was like, I cannot read this first name. Maguire will always be my Spider-Man, but Holland has earned his place with his third movie.
Oh yeah. So
everybody. Derek, what's yours? And then we'll move on. Favorite Spider-Man.
They all like seeing all the different Spider-Mans, like, and I'm probably going to be out on a limb, but my old boss Brandon at GameStop would agree with me. I resonated more with Andrew Garfield. Like he was a nice blend of both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like Tobey Maguire, in my opinion, this is just my take. Great Peter Parker.
Yes.
Decent Spider-Man. Like I don't think he had that quippiness too much. Tom Holland has that quippiness, but I don't think he does either of it well. He's good at both, just not excels. I think Andrew Garfield has that perfect balance of both being Peter Parker, the awkward, and that's also another thing. Like Tobey Maguire, the only thing I will criticize while he was a great Peter Parker, he like his little awkwardness was a little bit like creepy awkward at times in certain scenes, but it's, like, yeah, especially Spider-Man 3. But I digress. Andrew Garfield, I think, had a great, like, the awkward Peter Parker, but also, like, the very quippy Spider-Man, but also, like, he wanted to be that great hero as well. So, I think Andrew Garfield, I resonated more with as Spider-Man.
Okay. I like it. I would tell you mine, but you got to wait until the mid-roll. Okay? Well, we got to wait until the mid-roll. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And then I'll tell you. Derek, remind me, or I will forget. Okay?
Okay.
So let's jump into the first topic of the show. It's time for the gaming discussion. Xbox keeps taking hits on the chin, and this is by Ryan McCaffrey over at IGN.
Xbox's chief technology officer, Scott Van Vley, has offered transparency and an explanation for the system and service outage that affected game libraries, sign-in, and game launching for many players from late Sunday night and well into Monday, vowing to, quote, do better. In a post on Twitter, Van Vley attributed the issue to a failure of a, quote, licensing service that sits outside of Xbox, but which Xbox depends upon. He did not name the service, but it said it was, quote, an internal service at Microsoft that is shared across multiple products, not some random system. This caused some sign-in scenarios to fail, and it caused many scenarios that require an entitlement check to also fail, such as listing out your full library and launching games that you own. It also affected several of our publishing and store partners who depend on those same systems, which is why some of you saw issues in specific games and not others. He called it, quote, an unacceptable situation, and that Xbox, quote, must do better to support you. To address the problem, the Xbox CTO said, quote, our on-call teams caught the first signals overnight through automated monitoring and declared a major incident. Once we isolated the failing infrastructure, we shifted traffic onto the healthy parts of the system, while the team continued to work towards a root cause. Service came back unevenly across regions, which is why some of you recovered hours before others. Van Vley said that the company's next step, quote, we're running a full post-incident review. I care less about the one-line root cause and more about the real questions. Why a failure in one service was able to take down this much, why recovery took as long as it did, and what we changed so a single point of failure can't ruin your night again. That means hardening the dependencies underneath sign-in and game launch, improving how we detect and contain this class of failure, and being faster and clearer with you when something breaks. He concluded by thanking Xbox gamers for their patience and said, we'll do better. This incident follows PlayStation suffering its own prolonged system and service outage, while Xbox prepared for this week's wide launch of Halo campaign Evolved. Now, I do want to start by saying, yes, PlayStation also had an outage, but even though it's not acceptable, This has come about once a generation now. Like, I know it was severe during the PS3 cycle, and the early parts of PS4 had multiples, and I know they got hacked, during that time as well. But it kind of mellowed itself out to where it was just like, okay, every once in a blue moon there will be an outage, and it's not acceptable, but you expect it from PlayStation. The only reason this got traction is because Xbox has been like I put in the title. I titled my own article, Xbox takes another one on the chin. They have been taking so many gut punches that they took another haymaker with this. But and you sent this to me over the weekend, Zach, as well, or like in the last couple of days. And when I read it, I'm just thinking, and I know it was a service that is not proprietary to Xbox, but involves Xbox. You know, minutia aside, it almost feels like when someone's sitting in their apartment and their lights cut off, and it's like, why is my power out? You forgot to pay the light bill, goofy. Like, it's almost like they forgot to pay the terms of service for whatever this is. And I'm not saying that's what this is, but the sentiment remains the same. It's like when you can't say what it is, but it's like, oh, something happened. It's like you forgot, didn't you? You forgot this was a thing, didn't you? And I know they're going to do better, but it shouldn't have. And maybe he's blowing it out of because of all the stuff that Xbox is taking right now, like all like the lefts and rights that they're taking to the face. I feel like he overemphasized the apology, because again, if this had been out, if Xbox was still down today, I could understand the sentiment.
Yeah.
But because he's like over like apologizing, it feels like this is unimaginable, like this is unexcusable, that type of deal. It's like, right, exactly. It's like, my dude, it was down for barely 24 hours. Like, you acting like this thing like killed people's cats. But again, I say the only reason I get it is because, again, all the stuff going on, and again, the fiscal earnings came out. They lost a lot of money, and Asha Sharma came out and said we have to do better in the next year, which you almost want to read in between the lines of like, you maybe have only a year to get this ship right. Otherwise, it might get worse.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because like you said, we've seen this before, but we haven't seen a C-suite like really apologize. This feels very Japanese with the over apology, and with this,
like when PlayStation came out after the great hack of PS3, and they stood there and bowed for like minutes. It felt like,
yeah, and it's like, okay, I know the reason why we're being so transparent and we're apologizing is because of all the issues that are going on. They are literally counting the amount of time that people are active on their consoles. That is a win. That is a huge key performance indicator. A KPI is that what they call it. And it's like, okay, if Xbox Live is down, or whatever they're calling it these days, if our infrastructure is down, then we can't count that. Then we are failing all of these things. And it's like, okay, totally agree, do better. But it's like, what was the issue? Why was it ever an issue? You have to do a post-mortem on this, and then have contingencies upon contingencies, because your whole system is based off of Game Pass and now streaming games.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that. And I think this is really interesting, where both of these companies had outages right after PlayStation was like, we're no longer doing physical disc.
Yep. And there's supposedly, I thought it was going to be imminent, but apparently like one of the last few weeks of August, they're doing like a boycott. Like, everyone's going to like not sign in, not buy any games, not play any games on their PlayStations for like a week. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, it is ironic that after PlayStation said we're killing off physical disc, and then Xbox is all have all their ongoings in their business with the layoffs and the spin-offs, like letting studios go. It's like, it's almost like someone got a little ticked off, and it's like, let me stick it to the man here.
Yeah, and it's like even with Marvel Tokon Fighter, the beta was happening, and that's when PSN died. And it's like, okay, we have to come to this part where it's like ownership. Even if we don't own anything, but we have to sign in and has to check with the servers to say that we have it and all of that, you get to this point where it's like, well, if your servers aren't up, then what am I paying you for? You know what I mean? It's like, I can't use the thing that I'm renting or whatever you want to say it is. And it's just one of those things that a lot of people are rightfully scared about. But you also have to think about this. 85% of PlayStation sales have been digital, and something came out to yesterday from Capcom, and I just wanted to.
Vast majority of their sales have
93% digital sales.
Yeah,
through 2026.
But they did follow up by saying, "Go ahead."
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but they did come out and follow it by saying it's like, look, we have no plans to not keep making games on disc, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they know that there is a contingent of people that want to buy disc, and it's like, okay, if 6.7% is only going to be on disc, think about that, Derek. When you have 6.7% of billions of dollars, that's still a lot of freaking money. Because when you look at where's it at? Like Pragmata, 2.5 million units. Resident Evil Requiem, 8 million units. Like each of those is like, you have 6.7% that are physical. It's like, why would you give up? I know it's a small percentage, but it's like, you really think about it, it's still worth printing on the disc for them.
Yeah.
And they have a much higher percentage than Sony.
Yeah.
Again, 93.3% compared to Sony's 85%.
Yeah. And they still want to make discs.
Yeah. They still want to make discs. And of course, every year, more and more people are going digital. But when it really comes down, I think to ownership is the big issue. And then, you know, to Joe's point, PlayStation deleting movies from people's accounts and everything with no refunds, like 2 years ago, 2024. It's like we're seeing this over and over again, and it's like, okay, what's going to happen? And then you can't even keep your services up. Like it is a big L on both Xbox and PlayStation for those issues. PlayStation did get up quicker, but it's just like, dang, it's like y'all are wanting to push this future where it's like everything has to be online. You have to check in, you have to blah, 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 blah. And it's like, but can you serve me? Can you give me the thing that I need? Is your service going to be up? And I know 9 times out of 10, or, you know, 999,999.99, it's going to be up. But what happens when it's, man, I just need to play something. I had a really bad day.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm sure there was somebody that was having a really bad day over the weekend and wanted to just try out the Marvel Tokon Fighter beta.
Relieve some stress, and they got stressed even more. So it's just indicative of where they're trying to push things on both sides, Xbox and PlayStation. I think with Xbox, they over-explained, but I think that is the going forward. We're going to see Xbox be super transparent to the point of being annoying, because Asha is not going to accept anything other than that, because she wants Xbox to be like a sheet of glass where you could see what's going on. Like if they could live stream what's happening with the developers, they would. At this point, it's like, we're making games. Don't cancel a Game Pass, please. You know what I mean?
So
Please keep buying consoles.
keep. Which apparently, we're we might get another price raise in August from Xbox. So we'll see about that.
God.
Yeah, literally like 3 months after the last one. So, but let's talk about other hardware issues. The Steam Deck sales have reportedly plummeted into oblivion, and this is by Jacqueline Thomas over at IGN.
For years, the Steam Deck was essentially a budget all-star among handheld gaming among gaming PCs, even when more powerful handhelds like the Xbox Ally X started coming out. But in the months following Valve's price increase for its handheld, it seems like demand for the Steam Deck has absolutely cratered. Right now, it looks like the Steam Deck is selling up to 82% fewer units than it did last year, according to the same napkin math done by Boiling Steam via Gizmodo. The blog is based on the Steam Deck slipping from a near constant 5th place on the Steam top sellers chart down to around 14, which is theoretically a massive 72% drop in revenue. Obviously, these aren't official numbers, and it's unlikely that Valve will ever actually share exactly how many Steam Decks it's selling these days. Either way, though, it's not exactly surprising that the Steam Deck isn't moving as fast as it used to. However, there is a chance that the Steam Deck may grow more popular again. Valve is far from the only company raising prices on its handhelds, and if devices like the white Xbox Ally go up in price, the Steam Deck will start being competitive again. Then again, there's going to be the same amount of people that won't be able to afford Valve's prices, even if they aren't any cheaper options. Now, there's other factors that play into account here, is the fact of that they're not talking about. Now, obviously, we're going tomatoes here because, handheld to home consoles, but Steam Machine's coming out, in the near future, and people are excited to play that. Like, yes, the handheld ability is a convenience that is nice, but obviously the Steam Machine will be able to output more power, and like with any RAM, any graphics cards that they, that come out, that they want to get the best possible thing possible running on their machines. So I feel like that since that's in the cards, people may want a more powerful option. If they're going to pay, outrageous prices, it's like, hey, let me just pay for one that I know will give me the power I need to run the games. Or you could just invest more in your PC, but I digress. That's neither here nor there. The other fact is I think around the time that Steam Machine was announced and unveiled, they were talking about already I know they didn't officially confirm it, but they did hint at they were already looking at specs for the next Steam Deck, like the Steam Deck 2 or whatever, looking to see how they wanted to do it and if it would be feasible to put out rather than just cut the Vita to the PSP and make sure it had support and everything like that. So with that maybe being a possibility, or if there's better options that come out via the handheld, they might want to. I don't know. There is multiple factors that they could go that also play in to why the Steam Deck sales have plummeted. But the pricing, a 72% drop in revenue, and going from number 5 on the sales charts to number 14 is really concerning. But again, when you make egregious price, because yes,
it was
all the
over
manufacturers
$300
exactly,
increase.
and it's and I get it, right? Because they have to lock in the prices for RAM, or otherwise they just don't get calls back. I remember talking about that story, which is just bonkers in itself. But when you do egregious price increases that are not aligned, because again, yes, our Xbox and PlayStation creeping up on that $1,000 price range are already there, yes, but at least it's been a slow burn and it's been reasonable by market standards price increases. The Steam just basically got full of themselves, raise it $300, and it's raise it $400, right? It was like an auction house. I'll take $300 over here.
It's like when Darth Vader tells Lando Calrissian, it's like, I've altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it again.
Exactly. So that's a perfect example. But yeah, I don't know, man. I get it, but also they also did it to themselves, I feel like.
Yeah, it's to Michael's point. It's sales are plummeting after price hikes. You don't say. okay. It's just like, well, duh. Like, that just makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. I think this is one of those things. It's like, okay, we're raising the prices. There is still a you know, an aftermarket kind of thing where you can get these used and all of that. But there are other competitors out there. You know, it does talk about the Xbox Ally and all of that, where you can get, you know, the less powerful version, which is about the same power as the Steam Deck, for a little bit cheaper. But when you look at handhelds and all of that, there are other things that are coming out that are actually way more affordable. And one that is out right now is actually this little bad boy, which I look at it and I'm like, dang, this thing is pretty nice. It's called the AYN4, and it's got, it's pretty much like a DS, but it can play a lot of the same stuff that a Steam Deck can play, but it's super portable, you know, and it's only $259 for, you know, the light version. I'm curious. Okay, even the max, 1 terabyte of storage, 579. You're still way under the price, even if you wanted to drop down, you know what I mean? Like, this is still way more affordable than even, you know, the Steam Deck that you got going on and everything. I think it's one of those things, you look at it and people are just trying to survive. People are, you know, like, they only have so much money. So why would they spend that hard-earned money on, like I say, every week, gaming is becoming a luxury thing. So $1,000 on a handheld? No. Where people are literally modding PSPs, Vitas, all of that, and it looks super dope. And I'm like, dang, should I mod my stuff? Or, you know, it's like, I don't really need to, but it's cool at the same time. And I'm like, okay, like, there's so many different options out there that it's like, Steam Deck isn't necessary. Neither is really an Xbox. I had this conversation today, Derek, with a colleague at work, and he's like, dude, he's like, I want to get an awesome gaming room. He's like, could you help me? I was like, yeah, man. You know, like, what are you thinking? He's like, I'm thinking about like an 85-inch TV and an Xbox. And I'm like, okay. He's like,
okay.
I'm like, okay, like, what is your, you know, price range? He's like, you know, I'm thinking like maybe like $1,200. I'm like, okay.
So you're buying just the Xbox, right?
I'm like, okay. I was like, well, a lot of things are more expensive because of all of these different things. I was like,
if
are
you
you
can find
wanting
an 85-inch TV for under, you know, for within that budget, go off, King, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, you know, the Xbox is like close to $1,000 right now. And he was like, what? He's like, no way. And I was like, yeah. I was like, and it's about to go up again. He was like, that's ridiculous. And I literally told him, I was like, buy secondhand. Go on Facebook Marketplace. You can get it for cheaper than what it would be listed normally. Like, you know what I'm talking about, normally.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, he was like, that is insane. And I was like, yep. Thanks, AI.
Yep.
Thanks, data centers. And it's just like, when people are in the sphere, but then it's like, oh, well, I want to buy a Switch too, and which is about to go up in price in September. It's like, we are continuing to see these things happen because of market and all of that. They're not going to take that huge of a loss. And Steam already said they're not going to be a loss. They're not going to do it as a loss leader, both the Steam Deck and the Steam Machine, which the Steam Machine is currently out. It came out on June 29th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where have I been? Anyway.
I don't know. Watching anime, Derek.
Yeah.
Watching anime.
And not playing video games.
Thank you. So I think the big thing is, like, back to Michael's point, sales are plummeting after price hike. It's not really that crazy of a concept. And I think we will see less consoles sell in the next
100%
few years. And dude, I heard somebody talking about it's like, oh, PlayStation 6 and you know, the new Xbox next year. And I'm like, if they launch those, I'm like, if y'all launch these, y'all are going to be eaten alive. Like this is going to be like French Revolution style with
Yeah.
like the tech space. Like it's not going to go well.
I mean,
Especially
scalpers
when
will
we
buy them and then sell it for 3 times the price they paid for it. But
I don't
that's going to be it.
I don't think so because the margins won't be there. Nobody's going to buy a PlayStation 6 for $1,500 and then try to sell it for 3,000. Nobody, like, they're not going to do the volume that they did with PlayStation 5s.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's like, okay, well, it was 500, now it's 1,000, but I don't know when I'll get it. I can make that work, but $3,000? That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's insane with all of that. Dan says, I thought Xbox was going clown and wasn't going to do consoles anymore. They're doing one last console.
Yeah, supposedly.
It's called Helix at the moment, Project Helix. And they are really pushing it. So they are doing one more, but I would not hedge my bets for 2027. It's just not.
No.
Especially
not feasible.
Especially after GTA comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They can't do that again.
Like, it would have been smarter to get, like, if you were going to do a new console generation, get it out before the new GTA so you sell the console. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would have been
because they put the PS4 and Xbox One came out. Now, granted, it was like a couple months, it wouldn't be a year if it hit 2027, right? But you know, like GTA didn't come to PS4 and Xbox One till a year after the consoles had already been launched, and so it's you can't do that again.
No. So it's like you got to really think about all of this. Now we are hitting the mid roll right now, Derek. We're hitting the mid roll right now, Derek. Is there anything you're supposed to remind me?
Yeah, which was your favorite Spider-Man?
My favorite Spider-Man is from the 90s anime, the 90s animated show. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, that was my favorite Spider-Man. Physical live action, I'll go with Tobey Maguire. You can't beat the original. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Can't beat the original, you know? And one thing that you can't beat is hitting that like button, because if you do, you help support amazing people like me and Derek. Okay, we're a 1.5 person business here. All right, we make tons of great content, and those likes go so far because you're telling the algorithm gods, hey, I like this. I want to be reminded of this. So do that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? You should fix that right now. You should fix that right now. Is that all right, Derek?
Yeah, you're right. 100%.
Yeah.
I got to become a whole person. I can't be a half anymore.
Can't be a half. Dan says that was the animated one I grew up on. Toby is the GOAT for live action. See, Dan knows what's up. Dan knows what's up. Dan knows what's up.
It's like Kevin Conroy is my Batman.
Yeah, every time, dude. And while I was reading, I'll come back to you, Warlord, in just a second. I was reading, oh God, what is that called? I want to say All for One Batman. What is that called? Absolute Batman. There we go. And I was like, Kevin Conroy it's still here. It's still here. Yeah. It won't ever. Yeah. Warlord says PS6 will eat concrete. Do you think that'll be, I'm assuming that you're saying it's going to be trash and nobody will buy it. That's what I'm assuming, Warlord.
If it comes out in 2027, like,
yeah.
But if you're just doing that to be, you know, just a troll or whatever, I mean, you might be right. I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, but you know, I don't know. I'm in agreement with what you said. Is like if they both come out next year, it will not be good. It will be ugly. No. It will be the lowest console launch sales that they have ever seen in their history of their company. And fairly or unfairly, Satya Nadella will come down on Asha Sharma hard if they don't perform well with Project Helix. But I mean, again, a lot of the console launch depend. Like, well, they say console launch. You know, the launch of a console depends on the launch lineup. But I don't think even a great launch lineup will save the consoles. Because I mean, again, if you're going to launch a console like $1,500, it's going to buy that.
Yeah, nobody's going to buy that. And, we haven't really gotten that many first party games on
Yeah.
PlayStation and PS5.
Yeah, this generation.
So it's, yeah, I think that's a huge thing on there. Last one before we jump into this one. Dan says, I think opinions on these new consoles will change depending on the price tag, which will most likely be more than people will be willing to spend.
1,000%. And
Yep.
again, fairly or unfairly, people will just with video games in general. Again, when Battlefield, the old Battlefields come out, and you pay $60 back then for a 4-hour campaign, people question that. It's why did I pay full price for a 4-hour campaign? It's I shouldn't be doing that. And I mean, yes, there's always the flip side where Witcher, you pay $60 and you get a 300-hour game. Yes, there is give and take.
And free DLC.
Right. Especially in the first year of the game, pretty much. But again, when it comes to tech, the more you spend, the more people are going to criticize and be like, all right, what bang am I getting for my buck? And if it's just slight increases, basically it's like sports games. If it's only going to be minor increments, a little bit of change here and there, more bells and whistles that will never see the light of day. You know what I mean? Won't get much love and care after the first year of launch, or after the first 6 months of launch even. And people are going to be like, why am I paying $1,500 for this? Why am I paying $1,500 for minor increments? The price tag will definitely cause more scrutiny for these console generations, especially for the working class, middle class people that are having to scrounge change and stretch every dollar that they earn to make ends meet. Because again, this is a luxury. And yes, everyone wants an escapism from the world, especially when the world is just has much crap going on in it as gaming does. However, people, you have to escape somewhere. And if people can't escape because it's overpriced and you don't have that option, it's going to get ugly.
Well, and it's you look at it, it's okay, you can go buy a PS4, you can buy older consoles and play a plethora of games.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a huge shift to retro gaming in this next console generation and over the life of the rest of this console generation. I think we're going to see a lot more people getting older consoles, playing older games, just because, one, it's physical. That's going to be a huge part of it. And two, it's more affordable. You can go to secondhand stores. You can go, on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and get these things. And Ryan Cohen doesn't own eBay, thank the good Lord.
It's half cash, half stock.
So
check the website. So I think this is where, to put a bow on this, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And, always know that you don't have to buy something if you don't want it. You don't have to buy something 100%. If you don't want it. Vote with your wallet.
Yeah. And don't let FOMO. That's one thing about, we don't get given anything here. We have not been given anything. And if we do, we've let y'all know that. But PlayStation, we love Shuhei Yoshida full of grace, but Shuhei's never given us anything. He's not even there anymore.
And 100%, even if we did, it would not change our opinion. We will speak the truth.
Exactly.
We will call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Joe says we were going to get the kids Switch 2s for Christmas, but after this next price hike, I think we will just buy them the next Playground, which I heard a lot of good things about the next Playground being really good. But yeah, if you're wanting to get Switch 2s, get them before September, or the price will go up.
Have a very good hiding space.
Yeah, very good hiding space. It's I know it, to me, $50 is a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
But to some people, it's it's just $50, but it's $50. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
that's a tank of gas to most people nowadays.
Yeah. I can buy a lot of toilet paper, Derek.
That's true.
I can buy a lot of toilet paper, and
especially if you find a good sale on it.
Yeah. And anyway, guys, let's talk about Intergalactic. Intergalactic might release next year, and this is by Michael Herodens at the PSU.
So, reliable leaker Nate the Hate 2 has claimed that Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, is targeting a 2027 release, although keep in mind that nothing official has been announced yet by Naughty Dog. While the tipster didn't go into any further details about its planned release window, it does align with the previous speculation about when we'll see Intergalactic. Back in 2025, it was stated that by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier that Intergalactic is not coming out in 2026, coming in response to speculation from Colin Moriarty that the game could come out by the end of this year. So now this is obviously, and it's a slower news week. We had some stuff come out, but it's a slower news week. But with all that we've talked about over the last several months, we will take a slow news week and welcome it wholeheartedly. But this was a little interesting tidbit I wanted to throw out. Now, there is wording, the wording, because I saw the official tweet or like the official thread with Nate the Hate. It's like they are it's planned to come out in 2027, and that by that I mean that they want it, that they are early speculation is 2027, late 2027 at the earliest that it could come out. That doesn't mean it will hit. I'm sure Elder Scrolls 6 planned to hit a certain year, and here we are in 2026, and it is still a few years from even seeing the light of day at this point. So just because it is targeting 2027, now would that be great? Because again, rewind back to 2022 where we got Horizon Forbidden West at the beginning of 2022 and ended 2022 with God of War Ragnarok. If we started 2027 with God of War Laufey and ended with Intergalactic, that would be fantastic. We would win as the gaming community. However, I do not believe that it will hit it. I do think they want to, but Naughty Dog is one of those that takes their time. They want to make sure every little detail, every blade of grass, every story thread is thought out to the fullest extent, that they leave no stone unturned with what could happen in each scenario. Rightfully so. Now, yes, it is painstakingly, it is agonizing to wait for, years on end. However, that is why they're one of the top studios in place. They were the crown jewel for the longest time. And now they have been, in our opinion, they've been usurped. They're still in one of the top studios in PlayStation's, arsenal, but they're not the top dog in our opinion. Now, Intergalactic might change that. Who knows? Only time will tell on that. But I do think it is interesting to think, what we'll get. Because, we had talked about, a few minutes ago, not been that many first-party games on PlayStation 5 this console generation. So if that were to hit, next year, that would, ease a little bit of that pain. Again, that we're getting at least 2 bangers in the year of 2027. But Zach, I'm one of those that it sounds nice on paper. I don't think it's going to hit next year, though.
Now, I would love for it to come out. It would make the most sense, with the fiscal year. With God of War closing out fiscal year 2026 in February, which we're going to talk about the release date here in just a few minutes. But then you have the next fiscal year getting, Intergalactic in there. And I think that would be amazing. You brought up the year with Horizon and Ragnarok
God
and everything.
War.
And it's that is the ideal thing of having 2 amazing
bookends.
Yeah, it's you have these tentpole games where, other PlayStation games can come out within there. Hopefully, we would see more than just 2 games come out from first-party studios. Maybe we get another Team Asobi game. Yeah, oh my God, that would be amazing. Just something. Yeah. Thank you for the like. So it's if we got that, I would be great, but I don't want us to get into the position of Cyberpunk or, with the Last of Us multiplayer game that got canceled. I want this to be amazing. So whatever time it takes, take it. Make it the best game that you possibly can make. And that is the thing that I want out of that. And, I look at the list of games, and we got about 30 to 35 release titles from Sony first parties since it launched. That's not a lot.
I like to see that. No, and I was gonna say I would definitely like to see the comparison for PS4 as well. Like I feel like it would be close to double, but maybe not that much, but it would definitely be more. But yeah, not that much.
I don't know. The PlayStation 4 early years were pretty slow.
Right. It was more remasters.
It was remasters, but it was a lot of indie support on that side, and then it started picking up.
But then they stormed out the gates.
Yeah, and then it was just like, oh my god, banger after banger after banger. But it's like, okay, we got to get that. I just ran this. Okay. Okay, this is what Claude says. Good comparison to make the two. We do use AI to fact check some things on here, and it's not perfect. The two generations look pretty different in pace, lining up PlayStation 5 to now. So we have PlayStation 5 November 2020 till now, and the PS4 launch November 2013 to about mid 2019. I wanted to give it the same kind of range. All right. Yeah. PS4's first 5.5 years. Roughly 25 to 28 first party releases in that stretch.
Interesting.
So technically, PlayStation 5 has a little bit more. But it feels...
That's if the facts are correct.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. The conclusion here is, so to the short version, PS4 outpaced PS5 in the first party volume at the same point in the life cycle, driven mostly by a much stronger first 2 to 3 years. What?
Okay.
But you just said...
Nutty.
I'm so confused.
AI is great, y'all.
Yeah, AI is great, y'all. So yeah, nonetheless, y'all, everybody needs to be making more games.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be making more games. We all, the gamers win, as long as they're good. And I always say this, I want AA to come back.
Yes.
Because AA is really good. AA is really good. You get little nuggets of awesomeness. I played more AA games than I think I played AAA games in my lifetime. Fair. Especially like PS2 era, PS1 era.
Oh yeah.
Like that was the golden time of games. And they were like always like kind of wonky franchise games. You know what I mean? Dude, there's no telling how many freaking Gundam games I played. That was pretty much the same game, but just a little bit better looking.
Yeah. That was the sports games back in the day.
Yeah. It was like they're a little bit better looking, but somehow the actual combat totally different. It's like everything else was the same, but it's like the combat. We're going to just totally
Hey,
different.
That's the part that matters. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. The gameplay. Let's move over to our last news of the week, and then we'll go into our Patreon quick hits. We got some God of War news. God of War Laufey plants its release date flag, and the next franchise game is teased, and this is by Wesley Inpool over at IGN.
So God of War Laufey has a release date, which is February 16th of next year. Confirmation comes from the God of War Laufey panel at San Diego Comic-Con, which IGN attended. A 2027 release date was expected for Laufey after Sony Santa Monica confirmed it would ship on disc. The announcement came after Sony said it would stop production of PlayStation discs from 2028, sparking a backlash. At the same panel, Santa Monica studio head of creative Cory Barlog announced that the next Kratos-led God of War game is coming after Laufey and connects directly to her story. During the panel, Barlog said said of God of War Laufey that he wanted to see an extension and expansion of the world where the characters we meet are unexpected. Quote, everything we are doing in the Fey game is a continuation of what came before and to set up and expand what comes next. Frank has been around since the beginning. It's interesting to see how the build to build this world out. Everything in the game is setting up for something so amazing. Now, Zach, I know, you know, when we both saw it at the State of Play back during Summer Game Fest, we were both blown away. We did not expect a 20-minute demo with intense gameplay action of this game. And we're figuring, okay, it has to be. And then, again, the tweet came out. We talked about it last week about, it'll ship on disc. So the game was like, it'll be next year, which was like, okay, cool, but will it? And then they came out a week later. And it's like, guess what, guys? February 16th of next year, which is going to be great because it's around your birthday week. So it's fantastic. It's going to be, obviously that'll be my birthday gift to you because I'm going to buy it on PlayStation. So that way we can both play it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I am nothing if not generous. Where was I going with? And I think even if it gets delayed, it still can be 2027. You know what I mean? So I still think it will hit 2027. This is great. I'm excited. And then, to get that extra little nugget in there of, oh yeah, by the way, the next Kratos led game, which, there was speculation after Ragnarok. It's like, will it still be Kratos' story? Will they branch off to Atreus and whatnot in his adventures? Like he squashed that speculation. Like, this is still Kratos' world. We're just living in it for right now. And my little theory about, what I think for Laufey will happen, I think this just furthers that fuel about how the game will end and set it up, because if this is directly tying into the story, like, I think it's a perfect idea because, we see the different mythologies in Laufey. And I think whatever they decide, I think they're going to be toying with us and then tease what's going to come next. And that's where Kratos is going to be. So I'm not going to, if you guys want to watch Zach's reactions or reactions to the State of Play, because I did send him a text of my thoughts and see the theory that I have. I forget if you mentioned it in there. I think you did.
Yeah, I did.
But I'm not going to say anything, because now that we got confirmation this I'm interested to see how it will connect. But again, my theory is proving a little bit more likely. Don't know if it'll come to fruition or not, or maybe a different way than what I'm thinking. But again, if the end goal is still the same, I'm still right. I'm excited. Zach, what are your takeaways from all this news that they talked about over the weekend?
When you sent me this, I was like, this is a perfect birthday gift.
Exactly.
I mean? It's a perfect birthday gift. So I will take that. Even if it's a week late, Corey, I'll still accept it. I am super stoked about this. Getting a date. They are kind of reticent on actually putting dates out now.
Yeah.
So actually getting that, I feel like it will stick to it, because I remember with God of War, we made a little bet on Ragnarok, Derek, and I remember you were like, it's gonna get delayed, and I was like, nah, I trust Corey. I talk to Corey every now and then. I was like, I trust Corey, and if they say it's gonna come out in October, and you're like, I'm doubting it, and I think they're liars. And I was like, whoa, the man that gave you a tattoo, a tramp stamp, Derek, of the date. We didn't reveal the date. The actual date was on that tramp stamp. We had to blur it and hide it. But Derek has the date. He can post pictures if y'all ask nicely of Laufey's date. That Corey actually, gave it a little tramp stamp on there. But this is exciting. I'm really, really looking forward to this. Frank, I think that's the name, how you pronounce it, is the blue cube. So
Jack Quaid's
character. I'm excited for all of it. I know a lot of people, to Dan's point, I don't know why some people take issues with Laufey. I'm personally excited for it. And you are right.
Zach went on his tirade last week, or whenever it was.
2 weeks ago. You're right to be excited, Dan. And I'm glad that you are a sane human being, because you should be excited about this. This is exciting. I'm not going to go on another tirade here. We're celebrating. We're celebrating here.
Yes.
Because we get this game, and then we got the hint for another one, and Kratos is coming back. And I'm just like, man, I like this. I bought the PlayStation 3 to play God of War 3. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I bought it off a friend from high school. He was like, I don't even use it. I was like, okay. And I got it pretty cheap. I was like, all right, awesome. And then God of War was coming out, and I was like, heck yeah. That was the whole reason I bought it. But before that, I was like, I'm going to play Metal Gear Solid 4, and I'm going to play Infamous. I remember there was the bald-headed manager at GameStop. He's long gone by now. But you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, vaguely, yes.
Yeah, he was good at upselling. I will tell you that. Really good at upselling. And I was like, do y'all have Infamous? He was like, you're the first person that said it right. Everybody says Infamous. And I'm like, well, we're in a dumb town, in a college town, if everybody's saying Infamous.
I remember a guy at high school was talking about that, like after school was over, and he was just like, man, that guy was a jerk. Like, I love the game, but I remember going into GameStop again. It's like, y'all got that Infamous game? And the guy looked at him, and probably was the same dude. He was like, no, but we got Infamous.
I wonder if he was talking about your dude.
Probably
this dummy over here, Infamous. Murdoch says same. Now, Murdoch, are you getting into the new God of War? So I'm super excited. The announcements are great. February 16th. I know where I'll be. We'll be here live playing God of War Laufey as long as it releases, which again,
I'm already planning my next vacation around that.
Yeah, literally it's like I'll take time off for Amy's birthday, time off for our anniversary, and then I will take time off for video games. Those are the...
Just go ahead and take your 2 weeks, big dog. It's okay.
I don't know if I'll need 2 weeks to play all the way through.
No, I'm saying like 2 weeks for your birthday, for the birthdays, and then the following week for Laufey.
True.
So
we'll
see, but
just take February off. That's what you're just saying.
Hey, right. Just take the whole month off.
Yeah, just blow all of my 4 weeks of paid time off. Yeah, just like
who needs it for the rest of the year? Just take it at the beginning of the year, right? That's what they want anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Murdoch says, I haven't seen it yet. Need to go watch some vids on it. But if it's like the last two, I don't think so. Just to clarify, Murdoch doesn't like the Norse stuff because of the combat and everything. He likes more of the Devil May Cry hack and slash version of God of War, which is still great.
Everyone has their opinion, but I have to be the tongue-in-cheek guy. It's like Murdoch also banged the drum for Skull and Bones for so flippin' long, but then he saw the light when it came out. So you saved yourself, Murdoch. But I'm saying the same guy who banged the drum for Skull and Bones for years. Is this your king?
He saw the light because of Helldivers.
You're right. That is correct.
He was like, oh my God, I'm blinded by the propaganda. And I still haven't played it. But there you go. I know
I'm just messing with you, Murdoch.
There's a new pirate game that came out, not Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but there's another.
It's literally sitting on my desktop as an icon.
World of Sea Battle, maybe? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I know there's another pirate game. I think it's World of Sea Battle. It looks pretty good. It's got mostly positive reviews on not that, but this right here. I don't know anything about it, but there you go. Those look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those look pretty cool. I used to play. There was a game on the iPad that was like pirate ships and all of that. It was so fun. I don't even remember what it's called, Derek. Let me do a little bit of googling over here to see what I can come up with. But any last thoughts on God of War Laufey?
Can't wait. Just saying, can't wait to play this and to see if my theory comes true and how it will set up for the next Kratos. Because again, the fact that not only did Corey come out and say, "Oh, we're getting a next Kratos God of War game," but it's going to tie in directly after Laufey. I'm like, that's crazy, because Laufey is like, when it starts is right after the events of like the start of 2018 God of War, and then it's like you imagine, because in the afterlife, time moves differently, that what she's going to do is going to catch up to the events of after Ragnarok. So it's crazy. I cannot wait to see what concoction is brewing up in Corey's brain.
Yeah. With all the crazy stuff that he's got connected in there. Now, Derek, we bring you all of this awesome news each and every week because our wonderful patrons went over to patreon.com/nerdcave and got their very own Nerd Cave membership. Okay. They went over there and said, I'm going to support this 1.5 person business. I know times are hard. I know things cost more, but man, oh man, I can't get enough of Zach and Derek. We know Zach's the 1. We know Derek's the 0.5, but I can't get enough. I want to keep the lights and mics on. I want to keep seeing their smiling faces. I want to hear them bickering like old men in the balcony from the Muppets. I want to hear that each and every week, 7 p.m. Central Time on Thursdays. See Zach goofing off on Tuesdays, playing all the video games. That's what I want to see. That's what I love. So they went over there, y'all. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. Okay. They went over there. They picked their Nerd Cave membership, the tier that fit best with their budget. Some people even picked up free ones because, hey, that's totally cool too. We want you over there on the free tier as well. So go check it out. Go get your very own Nerd Cave membership right now. Become part of the ship, part of the crew, and never have to worry about Ryan Cohen coming in and trying to buy us for
half cash, half stock.
Because we don't like him.
No, by no means.
We don't like him. He's an idiot. All right, it's time for the Patreon Quick Hits.
So Sony reportedly has staff following its strictest ever social media guidelines following backlash over scrapping game discs. Vermilion Studios has reportedly shut down. Star Wars Zero Company cast includes actors from Clone Wars, Hades 2, Resident Evil, and more. Blue and yellow Splatoon-themed Joy-Con 2 controllers are now available. Amazon Luna is now part of Prime Video at no extra cost, and Amazon wants to rebuild trust in cloud gaming. Following that, Amazon Game Studios boss clarifies that no decision has been made on possible 007 First Light sequel. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls reveals Phoenix Cyclops as first Year 1 DLC character. Atari and Universal signed deal for the rights to adapt 10 classic games like Pong and Breakout into films. Final Fantasy XIV comes to Switch 2 on August 4th. Halo 2 might be the next remake after campaign-evolved secret ending cutscene is discovered. Amazon Games boss confirms Tomb Raider Catalyst has been delayed to 2028. Resident Evil remakes help Capcom invest in new titles like Pragmata while releasing yearly games in the Resident Evil series. Ubisoft is reportedly developing an ambitious new Far Cry game. Yoshi P says fans want Final Fantasy VII Remake director Naoki Hamaguchi to make Final Fantasy XVII. Following that, Yoshi P says a potential Final Fantasy VI remake could require 4 to 5 games to do the story justice. Stalker 2 Cost of Hope expansion reveals an August 20th release date. Needhog developers' Bullet Heaven platformer Blood Dungeon launches on August 25th. Ubisoft is giving PC copies of certain games to Xbox owners for free. Blade and Magic shine as Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls' most popular characters in the open beta. Series producer Mark Dara says Dragon Age unlikely to return due to EA's greenlighting process. Following that, Dara also believes a Dragon Age trilogy remaster is unlikely, as no one at BioWare understands the Aurora engine. Okay, that's why I have questions, but that's for a later day. Resident Evil Requiem has sold over 8 million copies worldwide. Shuhei Yoshida, full of grace, says Sony Japan Studio closed as its games didn't drive console sales. Neo 3 Hell Rising DLC launches on August 19th with a new stage, weapons, and more. Rumor, Fable has gone uncomfortably over budget at Playground Games. Double Fine Productions announces 23 layoffs as it transitions to become an independent studio, which we kind of already factored in. We talked about it. We knew it was coming. Thankfully, it's only just 23 people, but still, 23 too many. Wuchong Fallen Feathers sequel has been announced. Capcom says a Pragmata sequel is looking likely after celebrating its sales success. Majority of Capcom's 2026 sales have been digital, but it has no plans to stop making physical discs. The PlayStation Plus free games for August have been announced, and they will include Dying Light 2 Stay Human Reloaded Edition, Big Walk, and Signalis. Cyberpunk Edge Runners 2.5 Brawler, reportedly in development from CD Projekt and Shantae Studio Way Forward. Screenburn Interactive confirms Silent Hill Townfall will have 5 endings to unlock. Sonic Racing Crossworlds TMNT pack is out now with New York City course, Pizza Fire van vehicle, and more. Koei Tecmo targets 6 major console and PC titles for release by the end of fiscal year 2027. Pokemon Pokopia Bubbly Basin expansion gets extended gameplay trailer and an August 5th release date. Battlefield 6's record-breaking success earns EA CEO $38 million payday, but laid-off devs aren't around to celebrate. Halo Campaign Evolved modders have already added Iron Man, Carl Johnson from GTA, and more. Asha Sharma gives optimistic outlook despite grim fiscal earnings report. And lastly, John Wick has been turned into a Simpsons character in Fortnite.
I don't understand why we have to have. There's like 4 different John Wick characters.
Right.
You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Murdoch says, y'all see Doom Dark Ages got a DLC drop that looks like a whole new game. Yeah. It came out the same day that they laid off like half their staff over at id.
Yep.
Which really sucks, but love Doom the Dark Ages. Now that I have Game Pass, because I've been playing Halo Campaign Evolved, I will definitely be checking out the DLC, because again, Doom the Dark Ages, one of the best games of 2025, and if you haven't played it, you need to go play it. The pacing, the action, the way that they introduce new enemies and weapons, like, keeps you enthralled the whole time. And just once you get in the flow, Derek, you just feel like you're a freaking superhero. Okay? You just feel awesome. Murdoch says, how does the CEO get 38 mil and meanwhile the devs are like, we built that?
Corporate greed.
Yep. Corporate greed and work for hire.
Yep.
Unfortunately. It's the same thing with like Marvel, DC, and all of that. Like, anytime you make anything under them, it's their property, all of that. So you don't get to own the rights.
And that's in the fine print in the contract when you sign with them. It's like, hey, anything you create is ours.
Yeah, it's a little bit better than what it used to be, but it's taken in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and lots of legal battles to improve that. And video games will never get to that point.
Nope.
Just because you don't really have one person as the visionaries these days. But I will say, juxtapose that with how the Japanese treat like Miyamoto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he is so integral. I heard this the other day. He is so integral and so important to Nintendo that he's not allowed to ride his bicycle anymore.
Really?
Yeah, because if he got hit by a car or anything,
by Truck Coon.
Yeah, by Truck Coon, like it would mean like a huge hole in like That's how much of a value he is and everything. But here in the US, we don't think like that. If you're a game developer, anything like that, you're expendable, you know?
Yep.
You're expendable, you know? So, yeah.
Die today, replace tomorrow.
Yeah, you're just a cog in the machine. You know who's not a cog, though, Derek?
Shuhei Yoshida.
Shuhei Yoshida, full of grace. Full of grace, y'all. If y'all don't know who Shuhei Yoshida, I say this every time. Go look up a picture of him. Him smiling. It'll freaking bright your day, y'all. Like you're having a bad day. You're having a bad day. You look up Shuhei Yoshida, you're just like, I just feel so much happier because you can just see the joy on that man's face, y'all. You can see the joy on that man's face. Well, there you have it, everybody. That is our show tonight. We hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to keep checking out our awesome shows each and every week. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Central Time, we play video games. And on Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time, we talk about all the nerdy news that you need to know. We put out shorts. We put out a lot of cool content on top of that. So go do that. Derek, I enjoyed it. As always.
Enjoyed it as always.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That has been Zach.
And Derek.
Have a blessed week. Bye-bye.